All right, today we're putting on our detective hats. We're going to solve a really fascinating digital mystery that I call the case of the vanishing hit count. And believe me, it's a puzzle that pulls back the curtain on a massive shift happening in how we find information. Okay, let's get right into it. Our whole investigation kicks off with this question, which seems so simple on the surface. You've definitely noticed this, right? You go to a library database, type something in, and bam, exactly 4,128 results. But then you use a cutting-edge AI tool, and you get what? A nice summary, maybe a few top hits, but rarely, if ever, an exact count. Why? Well, the answer to that question opens up the entire engine room of modern search technology. Every good mystery needs a victim. And in our story, the victim is something we've all taken for granted for decades: the hit count. That little number at the top of the search results that told you, hey, your search was way too broad, or nope, too narrow, try again. And in all the newest, smartest search tools, it's just gone. So where did it go? To figure out why the hit count disappeared, we have to travel back in time to the world it came from. Our first big clue is in how search engines used to work. It was a system built for perfect, logical, black and white matches. Yeah, we've all done this, typing in things like cats and dogs, but not hamsters. It's pure logic. A document either has your exact keywords or it doesn't. There's no in between. And this whole system is built on a really, really efficient piece of architecture. Now, I know this might look a little technical, but trust me, the concept is incredibly powerful and actually pretty simple. An inverted index is basically the index at the back of a gigantic, planet-sized book. Before you even type your search, the system has already gone through and made a master list of every single word. And next to each word, it has noted every single document where that word shows up. And here is the magic trick. Because of that pre-built index, the act of counting the hits is unbelievably fast and easy. When you search for data and learning, the system doesn't have to read a single document. It just looks at its list for data, grabs the document numbers, looks at its list for learning, grabs those numbers, and instantly sees where they overlap. It's so efficient, the cost to do this is practically zero. That is the secret sauce behind those lightning-fast, perfectly precise hit counts. But then, a new character walked onto the scene, and it plays by a completely different set of rules. This is AI-powered search. And its whole philosophy isn't about finding a perfect match. It's about making a best guess. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. The old way was a keyword hunter. The new way is a meaning seeker. An AI search doesn't really care if you type the exact word automobile. It understands the concept of cars, of vehicles, of driving. It thinks in shades of gray, of relevance, not just the black and white of match or no match. And the tech that powers this is something called vector embeddings. Now, that might sound pretty complex, but the idea is actually kind of beautiful. The AI turns your query and every single document in its database into a string of numbers, a vector. You can think of it like a set of coordinates on a giant multi-dimensional map, a map of meaning. Your question is one point on that map, and all the documents are millions of other points scattered around it. That's it, right there. Researcher Aaron Tay puts it perfectly. The AI isn't looking for an identical point on the map. It's looking for the documents that are conceptually close to your query. The goal is all about proximity, not precision. Which, of course, leads to the obvious follow-up question, doesn't it? If it's just about finding the closest points on a map, why can't the AI just count all the points that are, say, within a certain distance of my query? Seems simple enough. And here it is. This is the smoking gun in our case. In a database with hundreds of millions or even billions of documents, the act of calculating the distance from your query to every single other document just to get a count, it's a computational nightmare. It would be insanely slow and ridiculously expensive. It's just not what these systems are built to do. So, what do they do instead? Well, they take a very clever shortcut. They use these amazing algorithms to find the top K results, a predetermined number, like the top 100 closest documents. You see, these systems are built for ranking, not for counting. Their job isn't to find all possible related documents, it's to find the absolute best ones and get them to you fast. But just when we think we've cracked the case, there's a plot twist. Some of the very, very newest AI tools, they are starting to show hit counts again. So what in the world is going on? Well, it turns out these new numbers mean something completely and totally different from the old ones. So with these deep search tools, that hit count isn't a simple tally anymore. It's more like a progress report from your personal AI research assistant. The number you see might be how many papers the AI has actually read and decided were relevant before it hit some kind of time limit. It's the result of an active evaluation, not just a passive count from an index. And this just shows how different the entire philosophy has become. Instead of a raw number of hits, tools like Undermined are now showing a convergence score. The AI is literally telling you, hey, I think I found about 2/3 of all the really relevant stuff out there. The question has totally changed. It's no longer how many documents have my keyword. It's now how much of the total knowledge on this topic have we actually uncovered. Okay, so we've found our culprit. The hit count didn't just vanish into thin air. It was made obsolete. The entire philosophy of what it means to search has changed from the ground up. So, for the final act of our little investigation, let's ask the big question. What does this all mean for us? It means our role as the searcher is evolving right along with the technology. The old skill, that was about query craftsmanship, finding that perfect, elegant string of keywords and operators. The new skill is more like prompt engineering, writing a detailed, thoughtful request to guide an AI agent. And our feedback loop isn't that hit count anymore. It's the quality of the answer or the summary the AI gives us back. And with that, case closed. The hit count vanished because the world it belonged to, that clean, simple world of exact, literal matches, is itself vanishing. In this new world of semantic search, that simple number is either way too expensive to calculate, or its very meaning has been transformed into something else entirely. And this leaves us with one final provocative question. In a world where our most important skill is shifting from what to search to how to ask, does that old hit count have a future? Should we ask for it back, maybe in a new form, like a recall score? Or would bringing it back just be adding noise to a new, more nuanced conversation? That's the next mystery for all of us to solve.